Okay, guys, there is a one more speaking test for you, and in the first part, I will ask some general questions. First of all, you tell me your full name.
It's Samriti Sharma.
Okay, Samriddhi, do you live in a house or in an apartment?
I live in a house. I have an apartment in Delhi, but currently I am living in Karnal. So we basically have a house.
Okay, how have you decorated your room?
I have a very small room because I think that smaller the room, the better it is to organize it. So I have a small single bed over here, and alongside it I have a table on which I have a lamp, and there are a few books that are always.
Okay, how much time do you spend in your room in a day?
I spend a lot of time in my room because I think that it's very cozy and makes me feel very comfortable. So whenever I am free, I try to land up in my room and maybe relax or watch movies, or even I like to have a chat with my family in my room itself because I think that it's my comfort zone.
Okay, which type of movies do you like the most?
I like movies that have a good morale associated with it. Like there are a few people in my family, especially, who are very fond of movies that have a fun element in them, which do not specifically have a lesson, or let's say, which do not add value to. I think that if I am watching a movie for 2 to 3 hours, I would like to see something which adds to my knowledge and I can learn something from the movie.
Okay, how would you compare the movies present and the past?
Well, there is a lot of change that has happened over time. The movies in the present look into entertainment factor a bit more in comparison to movies from the past. Movies from the past had a greater element of simplicity, and nowadays movies have a lot of action scenes, and there are a lot of things which do not seem to be realistic. I feel the quality of graphics, I certainly believe, has increased over time, and definitely there is a lot of money which goes into production and the casting. But I think that old movies were something to which we can go back again and again. But this is not something which happens with movies of the current generation.
Okay, which type of movies will be popular in the future?
Well, I believe that movies consisting of science fiction would be very popular because people nowadays are very keen to learn more about universe, and maybe they are very much into graphics. So science fiction movies definitely give a better leverage to those kind of factors. And along with that, I think that movies that have a better element of, let's say, intellect will definitely be more accepted by the public in general, because people are now definitely looking for entertainment movies, but they are the movies which not every part of the population enjoys. So basically, I think that the population, especially in our country, is 70% youth, and youth is very specific about what kind of choices they make.
Okay, which type of problem youth facing these days?
Youth nowadays, according to me, faces a lot of issues regarding employment, because in a country like India, where the sectors which provides employments are very limited, because I think that yes, new businesses are coming up, but either people are overqualified for the jobs, or sometimes they do not get the salary that they deserve. So due to that, people not taking up the jobs most of the times, and they start looking for other options, and then most of the times they are not able to secure a job in a manner that they want to. So I think employment will definitely be a major issue. It is a major issue in the present, and I think if policies are not made by the government, so it will continue to be definitely something which will be a matter of.
Do you think that this problem will persist in the future?
Well, I believe that looking at the current scenario, the policies taken by the government are definitely not aligned in a manner that employment issues are tackled. So I can't be be very sure about it that the government will not look into it. But I think that the percentage of youth is very high in our country, and with the number of jobs coming up, I don't think that it will be able to match the requirements of the youth. So definitely unemployment will be a major factor, but I believe that if people tend to understand that new businesses have to come up in order to meet up those requirements, then this problem can be tackled to a huge extent. But then people have to work in conjunction with the government. So I think that new entrepreneurs have to come up and they have to understand, make tie hands with the government, and then come up with some maybe relevant steps to
Okay.
with that.
Now this is the end of part 1. In part 2, I am going to give the topic. You have 1 minute to make some notes if you wish. Here is your topic. Describe an argument that 2 of your friends had. You should say when it happened, what it was about, and how it was solved, and how you felt about it. Here is your topic. Now it's time to make some notes if you wish. Okay, you can start your topic now. I will stop you when your time is up.
I believe that arguments are something which are very natural to humans because we tend to have different opinions regarding a few things, and so this leads to a lot of conflict sometimes. But this can be a healthy conflict as well. So I remember that when I was in college, there happened a conflict between 2 of my very dear friends. They were arguing regarding a trip which was being planned since a very long time. So the matter of conflict was that one of my friends was saying that she wants to go to a hilly area, and the other one was saying that she will prefer a beach. So we had like plenty of holidays in our hands, so we wanted to spend a good time with our group. So this was the matter of argument. So we were not able to lend into a conclusion. So they then asked me to give an advice so that we can come to a decision, and then we not end up wasting our time, and then we can specifically decide and then plan accordingly. So then I told them that why can't we make a trip in which we neither go to the beach areas and nor to the hilly areas. We can look for a plain kind of an area, like an area which will be more peaceful. So I gave them a suggestion that why can't we go to Kerala? So it will be a very nice place, and I have read a lot about Kerala's tourism, and it has always attracted me a lot. So first of all, they were quite dicey about it, but then when we saw the options that were available in Kerala, the places which we could have explored, and the options that were ready for us, so we specifically decided to give it a try. And then at that time we booked our tickets, and then we hired a guide for ourselves so that we can explore the city better, because none of us has visited the city earlier. So I felt very good regarding it, because I thought that this argument might affect our friendship, because it was a very feisty argument at that time. And since I thought that if we are not able to have a decision regarding it, so this might definitely cause a tiff between all of us. But with the decision I took, and with their permission, we were definitely able to come to a conclusion which was better for all.
Okay, now this is the end of part 2. Get me the paper back. Okay, in part 3, I will ask some questions related to the topic. Fine? Do you think arguments are important?
Well, I believe that arguments definitely have a very important role, because arguments help in bringing out the opinions of different people, the perspectives of different people regarding a single thing. Because if everybody has the same opinion, so we will not be able to maybe understand different persons' perceptions towards different matters. So definitely a healthy argument will definitely be fruitful for everybody, I feel. So to choose like having an argument or not having an argument and being pacified with whatever decision everybody is taking. So I will definitely opt for an argument.
Do you also argue with your parents?
This is quite funny, but I tend to argue with my parents quite a lot of times because argument, I believe, happens due to the generation gap that is there between us. So, well, I believe that it is kind of healthy argument only because we don't end up fighting with each other. It's just some verbal conflicts that we have, and then
why generation gap is increasing?
This is quite interesting, I believe, because nowadays people have their own experiences, and they don't tend to understand the kind of experiences their parents or let's say their grandparents had. So whenever they try to explain something to our generation, we are very much stubborn about it. We tend to tell them that we know how to handle things according to our point of view, because of course I think that their experiences was according to their point of time, whatever they dealt with, and we live in a different era. It's a different condition.
Do you think generation gap can be reduced by any effort?
Definitely. Generation gap can be reduced to a very huge extent by efforts being made by both the parties. Let's say the current generation and the older generation, if they make efforts towards building a bridge between the generations, they can definitely tackle the problems that arise. Because sometimes the youth also has a valid point to make, and I think most of the times our parents have valid points because they have a lot of experience in their hand, and we don't get to understand why they are maybe reluctant about a few things, or why they are denying us to do something which we desperately want to do. But it's out of their experiences, they have learned something. That's the reason why they tend to make their children aware about what to do, what not to do. And sometimes it is important for the parents to understand that I think it will help to bridge the relation.
Is it important to keep in mind that arguing can be very beneficial to the health of friendship?
This is quite tricky, I would say, because a healthy argument will definitely be beneficial for the health of a relationship, a friendship. But if the argument goes to a different level, I would say it will definitely can affect the relationship to a huge extent. Because people tend to take it to their ego, and egoistic people can definitely get out of the relationships very easily. Because even if they want to tackle a situation in a different manner, maybe with a polite attitude, they are not able to do so because their ego comes in between, and they tend to be very stubborn, and they get pissed off very easily with ego problems.
Do you think that arguments as opportunity to really hear what the other person want to say?
Definitely, yes. Argument helps us to understand different person's perception as well, because what happens is that sometimes we are so occupied with our own thoughts, we don't understand that there could be a different side of the story. So when we lend into an argument, it gives us an opportunity to understand that this problem or this situation can be foreseen with a different perspective. So this is the basic role of argument in a conversation.
Do you think people should change the way they think when having arguments?
Definitely yes, it will be very helpful, I believe, because when somebody looks into an argument as a method of maybe understanding somebody else, they will definitely listen to the other person with open ears, and they will not be egoistic about hearing somebody else's opinions. Because what happens at times is that when somebody starts arguing, the other person who tend to think that they are superior in the conversation, they definitely take it to their heart and believe that the other person is arguing, so they are not respecting me. But if somebody, let's say the person who considers themselves as dominating in the conversation, if they start accepting that the other opinion can also matter in the conversation, then definitely it will be very fruitful, and it can definitely provide provide a lot of leverage to new thoughts to come in.
Okay, thank you. This is the end of your speaking test.